I met him, 70 plus years old na si Tatay Jose. Meron siya isang dilapidated house. Lumang luma na. Wala na siyang hanap buhay, wala siyang income. Ang pinaka-source of income na lang niya is yung may dalawang kwarto doon na may umuupa for 3,000 a month. Sabi ko, Tatay, itong property mo is worth something. Why don't you sell it? Nabenta na yung property for around 3-something million.
Wow.
3-something million. Not a big amount in today's world, but for a guy na walang pera, that's a big amount.
From helping first-time buyers to guiding seasoned investors, Carl D. has dedicated his career to empowering Filipinos.
Known for his extensive knowledge, strategic insights, and proven track record in the Philippine real estate market.
Hinawakan niya kamay ko, sabi niya, Carl, salamat. Hindi ko na akalain na for the past 10-20 years naghihirap ako. Sabi ko, Tatay, magkano mo nabili ito? Sabi niya, a few thousand pesos, 10-20,000 pesos. Kung kailan pa ako naging 70 plus, doon pa ako naging milyonaryo. Yung taong walang pera, masisave kayo ng property na bahay niyo. All because binili niyan noong unang panahon. Kaya I tell my friends na as much as possible talaga.
Money Masters with Chinky Tan.
Hi there mga kaipunaryo, gusto nyo ba talagang kumita at talagang palaguin yung pera sa pamamagitan ng real estate? May pera ba talaga sa real estate? Yan ang pag-uusapan po natin. Pero bago natin pag-usapan yan, I would like to introduce to you a person whom we respect, especially in the industry. He's considered as a property expert and a property guru. Kung may kailangan kayo at alam kayo tungkol sa property, siya ang dapat kausapin nyo. So, without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Carl D. Palakpakan naman natin si Carl. Yes.
Hello, Brother Chinky. It's so nice to be here in your studio. Nakikita ko na to sa YouTube, pero finally, I'm here.
Yeah, it's really an honor and pleasure na nandito ka ngayon sa araw na ito.
Salamat. And hello mga kaipunaryo. Hello out there.
Of course, yung mga kaipunaryo na nandito po. So ito lang, Carl, no? Ang pag-usapan muna natin, syempre, mag-background muna tayo. Let's go back to yung childhood mo.
Childhood.
So obviously, kaming dalawa po ay Filipino-Chinese, no? At promise, hindi kami lumaki sa farm.
Hindi go. Carl D.
D. So where did you grow up and then ano yung background?
Brother, I grew up in La Loma, Quezon City. Alam niyo ba mga taga La Loma out there? Shout out.
Sa yung National Lechon, di ba? Doon sa La Loma.
So, I grew up in this place na talagang dinadaanan ko yung mga lechon. Talagang naka-display lang sa kalsada. Pero pag uwi, kain naman tayo. So La Loma, lumaki tayo. And I guess just like many Filipino-Chinese, we did not grow up rich.
Oh?
Oo, so marami tayong mga memories din, no?
Hindi kasi a lot of people have a perception pagka Chinese ka.
Oo.
Wealthy ka.
Yeah. I think meron tayong mga kaibigan na wealthy, pero tayo lumaki na kasi yung lolo-lola ko, they were not business owners eh.
Oh.
They were like employees lang. May hardware sila sa may Binondo, Recto. And then my parents were encyclopedia salesman. So lumaki tayo sa bahay na hindi business-minded. So yung joke nga sa amin is hindi pinag-uusapan ng pera. The only time na pinag-uusapan ng pera, pag kulang. I'm sure you can relate, brother.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I grew up in that environment. Talagang yung the usual na trabaho ka. Carl, paglaki mo, trabaho ka. And it's really hard work. And I remember my parents would tell me na pag naka-relax ka lang sa bahay, nakaupo ka lang, you're not hardworking, you're not gonna be successful. At eventually nga, fast forward, balik tayo mamaya, is yun naman yung nakatulong sa atin. Dahil gusto natin medyo not too stressful ang buhay, sa property tayo napunta, sa mga rentals.
Pero bago tayo pumasok doon, syempre naman, yung kung sinabi mo, you came not from a not so privileged family, ano yung mga challenges naman?
Wow. Alam mo, brother, interestingly, alam ko marami akong challenges eh. But I remember growing up, I didn't feel sad about it. Yung mga tipong wala kang pera sa school, o yung pag umuwi ka, na gutom ka, the usual. Pero ngayon I look back, parang, uy, kawawa naman si Batang Carl. But during that time, parang normal lang siya, di ba? Nag-jeep tayo, minsan, pag malakas ang ulan, lakad ka sa baha. And I guess yung pinaka-frustration is yung palagi narinig natin, minsan, wala tayong budget. Wala tayong pera. Madalas yun marinig sa bahay natin.
Ano sinasabi ng parents mo parati? Ano sinasabi nila na wala silang pera? Ganon?
I think I love my parents. They really gave a lot of their efforts to us. Apat kasi kami magkakapatid. I'm the eldest, just like you. So, I think since encyclopedia salesman sila, ano may encyclopedia?
Nagbebenta sila encyclopedia.
Alam niyo ba yung encyclopedia, mga kaipunaryo?
Oo. Ang hirap nun. Mahirap yun.
Bakit siya mahirap? Non-recurring.
Oo nga.
One time.
Oo.
Tapos pag may nakabili na siya ng one time, tapos na. Ang mahal-mahal pa nun. So, yun yung naging path ng parents ko. encyclopedia salesman.
Ilang taon nila ginawa yun?
I think matagal. Kasi as far as I can remember, yun talaga yung
Livelihood.
Yung nakapagbayad ng tuition natin, nakapagbigay sa atin ng allowance. Nakita ko lang downside sa ganun business is if you stop working, you stop earning. So yun yung naging realization natin early on.
Grabe yun, no? Alam mo guys, ito lang, relate ako. Kasi because I personally have sold encyclopedia. Oh, I did. Nag-seminar pa nga ako pero blind ads pa nga yun nandun na pwede ka daw kumita, tapos konti lang flexible para pagdating doon, nagbebenta pala encyclopedia. Pero by the grace of God, nakabenta rin ako a few. Na-realize ko nga tama ka The moment you stop working, you stop earning, but you don't stop spending.
Oh yeah.
Di ba? So yun maganda kitaan actually, di ba? Pero yun nga, hindi nga pang long term. Kaya kung kayo, nakikinig kayo ngayon, nagbebenta kayo, di ba? Pagka maraming mga challenges, at saka hindi lang yan. Na-experience ba ng parents mo na, yun nga, yung nakukwento ba nila, yung experience nila, kung gaano kahirap magbenta?
Yeah. Alam ko, yun yung narinig ko that time growing up na mahirap ang buhay, mahirap ang pera. So talagang tipid-tipid ang battle cry natin, lumalaki tayo. So not really investing, tipid.
Ilan taon yun? Hanggang ilang taon ka noon na na-experience mo na ganun?
Oh, wala. I think it's really challenging up until college.
College?
I think so.
Wow.
Baga,
So ibig sabihin college time hindi pa okay ang finances ng family
I
niyo?
think so. Pretty much parang regular. Hindi naman super bad, but kumbaga hindi siya yung like businessman ngayon. Oh.
So kailan nagbago yung financial situation niyo or ikaw mismo?
I think so I took up architecture, brother. I took up architecture sa UST. Eventually I worked for this guy called June Palafox.
Oy! Grabe yun. Lodi yun.
I look back at my career, talagang property talaga. Up until today, di ba? So, I studied architecture and nagtrabaho pa ako as delivery boy sa hardware growing up. So, I grew up in Benavides, Masangkay, sa mga Chinese out there.
Ikaw, di ba Quezon City ka
Oo. But my family doon nanggaling, yung lolo-lola ko sa Recto. So, I would go to Benavides, Masangkay.
Ilang taon ka nun?
Siguro, I started working pag summer, grade 5, grade 6, high school first year. Yes.
Ito weird part, no? That's around 10 years old, no? Mga 10 years old. Bakit kaya yung mga Filipino-Chinese, no? Ating pinapasok sa tindahan, sa hardware, bakit kaya?
Alam mo, I guess, yun talaga yung mindset before na tumulong ka, bawal na nakaupo lang, bawal na papahinga ka lang. But I look back, brother, that was really the best foundation of all.
Why? Why do you say
Yung
that?
pagtatrabaho natin sa hardware. And I was a delivery boy. So, meron akong bisikleta, and ang suot ko lang, dati shorts lang, rubber shoes, topsiders, t-shirt, delivery, full day. Pero masaya ako, brother, masaya. I would earn 50 pesos a day. And ang trabaho natin sa Binondo, hindi naman 5 days a week, 6 days, di ba? Ang sweldo, Sabado. I would fall in line, kasama ko yung mga payonante, mga trabahador. Kuha kong sweldo, 300 pesos.
Ano ginagawa mo sa first 300 pesos mo?
Alam mo, at that time, ipon. Ipon talaga. Chinese, ipon. I remember yung mga laruan dati, nahilig ako sa Tamiya when I was growing up. Pero ang mamahal, at that time, di ko ma-afford. Now, you look back, parang yun yung mga di ko ma-afford dati. So, ipon. I guess a lot of ipon talaga. Kasi yun yung culture na scarce ang pera, ipunin mo lang.
Grabe.
So, delivery boy for most of my growing up high school. Funny thing, brother. Ngayon ko lang nakakwento yan But during that time, I was so embarrassed. Nahihiya ako na walang may alam na nag-delivery boy ako. My prayer at that time was sana wala makita sa akin, di ba? Pero masaya ako. Kumikita akong 300. Sabi ko, 300 a week. I'm gonna be a millionaire someday.
Pero yun yung kagandahan, no, mga kapatid, no? Kung may pinagdadaanan kayo ngayon, wag niyong kamuyan. Wag niyong masyadong Alam mo bakit? Itong mga bagay na to ay nagpapatibay sa atin, di ba?
Agree.
Paano naging impact yan because of those lessons?
I think marunong tayong magtrabaho marunong tayong makisama. Kasi nandun tayo, delivery boy, nakikipag-inuman tayo ng kape, pandesal, sausaw sa 3-in-1. So I think nakatulong yan growing up, na marunong tayong makisama sa tao. Tapos hindi tayo basta-basta na nag-give up sa konting hirap. After being a delivery boy, na-promote ako, naging delivery driver ako. So nag-drive ako ng mga L300 dati, delivery truck.
Wow!
And then eventually, ito nakakatawa to, brother. During my college years, pumapasok tayo sa school, di ba? I remember, nag-aaral ako sa UST, minsan 4 o'clock yung pasok. So sa umaga, naman ako, bodegero.
Talaga?
So I was assigned sa bodega and tatawag sa akin yung uncle ko na, Carl, ito yung order na darating yung pick-up. Around 10 o'clock darating, ihanda mo na lahat. Ifo-forklift ko yan, i-ready ko lahat. Para pagdating ng truck, ready to load. That was maybe 90s.
Grabe. Carl, this is the first time that I'm hearing...
Is it?
Oo naman. Hindi, syempre, parang ang pagkakilala ko sa'yo, property expert, property guru, yan ang pagkakilala ko eh. Pero I have never expected yung backstory mo na ganun.
Nobody really asked, but now that you mention it, kung alam eh.
Pero I had a recent conversation with one of my mentors, si Francis Kong. Sinabi niya sa akin, what is one of the saddest thing that can happen to young people nowadays? Ano mo sagot sa akin? Most of them never experience to become poor.
That's true. That's true.
So, hindi sila dumaan sa hirap eh.
Yeah.
Maybe mahirap ang sitwasyon din ng mga ibang tao ngayon, pero nandun na yung convenience eh.
Convenience.
Internet, di ba? Microwave, delivery. During our time, zero lahat yun eh.
Wala. And I look back, riding jeepneys, tricycle. I think
ngayon, Grab.
things were slower at that time din. Things were slower.
So, ang kagandahan kasi during that time, nung lumaki tayo sa ganung era, alam natin lahat ng bagay, may process.
Yeah.
Kailangan maging patient ka, maghintay ka. And yan ang isang kulang na ngayon ng era right now. Everybody wants it fast. Di ba? Yung parang, di ba, dati yung age, natin, midlife crisis at 50. Pero ngayon, quarter life crisis at 25.
Yeah.
Wala pa daw na-achieve, wala pa daw nagagawa. Parang they become depressed.
I get you.
So, right now, let's move on forward. So, yun, when you studied, nung nag-college ka na, tapos nag-aral ka ng architecture, after that, you went to work sa Panafox. So, tell us that journey naman.
Took up architecture, UST, fantastic experience. People ask me, Carl, bakit architecture? Magaling ka ba mag-drawing? Unfortunately, hindi ako magaling mag-drawing. Kaya ako lang kinuha architecture kasi sabi nila, walang masyadong aral dun.
Drawing.
Drawing ka ng drawing. Just defend what you're drawing. So, I took up architecture. Graduated tayo. Tinapos naman natin. And we worked for June Palafox, architect June Palafox. At that time, brother, very memorable to me. They were drawing Rockwell.
Wow!
At that time, wala pang mga ganong Rockwell high-end
As in talagang ground?
Dinadrawing pa lang.
Oo.
Dinadrawing. So I was there.
Grabe yun.
So dinadrawing pa lang Rizal Tower. And I think at that time, I don't know, maybe there was some issues with the parking. I vaguely remember kasi sedan, nagkapajero. So yung clearance ng basement, parang maliit. So I always tell that story kasi in property, you have to forecast, notice what's gonna happen.
In the future.
Oo, di ba? So kung makita mo, nagpapalit yung kotse Mangga-effect yan sa size ng parking, sa clearance ng bubong. So they were drawing Rizal Tower. And people ask me, Carl, ano din drawing mo sa Rockwell? Unfortunately, wala akong na drawing, brother. Because I was a junior, tiga-erase na ako. At that time, wala pang computer nun. Ini-erase pa yan mano-mano, yung tech pen. I also worked for this architect who was drawing Mall of Asia at that time. So those were the things that I saw early on. Then eventually, nagtrabaho na tayo sa Ayala Land. That's really where I was able to develop a lot of my education in Ayala Land.
Anong trabaho mo sa Ayala?
Brother, let me share with you a backstory. At the time, Ayala Land was selling properties mostly sa South. Sa mga, not to the Filipino-Chinese market. Mostly sa South yan di ba? Spanish, Filipino market. And Ayala wanted to venture to the Chinese market, Quezon City. They were developing their first townhouse in Quezon City. I'm sure you're familiar. It's called Montgomery.
Oy!
Yun.
Grabe yun.
So, sabi ng Ayala, kailangan natin mag-hire ng tao na magaling, may experience, Chinese, marunong magsalita ng Chinese at nakatira sa Quezon City. Pumasa ako sa 3. Hindi ako magaling, wala akong experience. Pero Chinese ako, Chinese speaking, tiga Quezon City. Montgomery was like a few minutes from our house.
Anong street sa Montgomery yun?
E. Rodriguez.
Yes.
So, partner, I look back, that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago, so 2004.
2002 to be exact.
2002.
So I was hired by Ayala to sell to the Chinese market, Montgomery. So we put up an office in Tomas Morato, eventually in Trinoma. So we were one of the first to move to Trinoma nung bago pa rin Trinoma. Early 2000. So, nakita ko rin with my own eyes paano na-transform yung buong area na dati parang squatter and all to now, Vertis North. So, I work with Ayala, sa Montgomery, then eventually from a salesperson.
Pero ano na muna, let's talk about yung gusto kong Montgomery. Ilan na nabenta mo during that time?
Hindi ko na maalala, brother, but substantial enough that I was able to stay with Ayala and got promoted.
How much was it per square meter
Wow.
during that time?
Alam mo, interesting question, brother. Because just a few days ago, I was in a chat. Sabi niya, Carl, do you know of anybody who was looking for Montgomery? They know me as a Montgomery guy before. We're now selling our townhouse. Dikit-dikit yan for 40 million pesos.
40?
40.
Ilang square meter yun?
Hindi ko na maalala, brother, yung details. But what I remember is, we were selling that for maybe 7 million-ish. Around 20 years ago. 7 million-ish. And at that time, brother, it was not an easy sell. At 7 million, people were complaining.
Taas na nun.
Taas, ang liit, masikip. Na value engineer, masikip. Sino titira dyan? Ganon. At the moment, that place, it's around 40 million, 50, 60 million with the bigger ones. And there's a demand for it. Kumbaga, merong yon.
Grabe yan. Ito lang. Kasi sa may Quezon City, sa may, ano yan? Anong area yung Montgomery?
E. Rodriguez.
E. Rodriguez. We lived in New Manila.
Oh, I know.
11th Street.
I know.
11th Street. So, nung nabili namin yan, I think, during that time, 150 square meters, townhouse siya, at 4 million. 4 million lang yun.
Right. 150 square.
Yes.
Na lupa. Ang malaki na ngayon yun in today's standard.
Ito nga, nangyari. So, noong 2008, we sold it at, I think, 8 million to 9 million, yung unit na yon. That was around 20,000 pesos per square meter. 20,000. Alam na, magkano na ngayon yung Manila?
From what I hear, pag lupa,
Lupa.
200 to 250 per square. So, times 150, mga iponaryo. 200,000 times 150.
30 million na.
30 million-ish.
So, it's so crazy. Kaya nga, guys, ito nga, kung ikaw isang OFW nakikinig, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay milyon-milyon. At kung makikita mo, napakababa ng presyo ng lupa. At yun nga, tumaas ang presyo ng lupa. Pero mamaya, pag-uusapan din po natin kung paano ba kumita sa lupa. We have the property expert here. Pero ituloy muna natin yung story.
Sa backgrounder pa lang tayo, brother.
Oo. So, nag-ahente ka, di ba?
Ahente.
Oo. Tapos, hindi ka natanggal, nakabenta ka, pero paano ka nagkaroon ng breakthrough sa property? And paano sinabi na talagang, hey, this is really for me, this is my calling?
Yeah, I think because nga nanggaling tayo sa... Well, my parents are sales, di ba? Encyclopedia. No? So, I kind of got their konting experience and learning from them. But I also nakita ko rin sa kanila na kailangan talaga medyo recurring ang income. No? So,
Paano man natutunan naman yung word na recurring?
Siguro wala pa akong term at that time. But I remember kasi nagbebenta ng tissue sa Binondo. As a delivery boy kasi, we go around eh. Di ba? Nakikita mo yung mga nangyayari sa Binondo. Nakikita mo bakit lahat ng mga mayayaman may paupahan. So that was my first time na open yung eyes ko. Na parang mga mayaman dito sa Binondo may paupahan. And then, I vaguely remember yung isa nagbebenta ng tissue. Ang ganda ng business ito.
Bakit?
Kasi tuloy-tuloy. Parang
Consumable.
Sabi ko, one day, I want to have a model na recurring. But you know, when you're growing up, you're 10, 15 years old, it's a one-day dream. Hindi mo alam na doable eh. Kasi parang nakikita mo sa family mo, you're struggling with finances, parang out of reach ba?
Guys, yung sinasabi ni Carl talaga na yung tinatawag na recurring income is otherwise known as passive income. Ang ibig sabihin po ng passive income is the ability to earn money while you are sleeping. Kahit tulog ka. Tama?
Exactly.
Carl?
Yep.
Yun ang pinaka-ultimate goal.
Yep.
Guys, you know why? Why is it important? Bakit po? The reality is this. Kahit ang laki ng sweldo mo bilang isang OFW, isang corporate executive, the moment you stop working, you stop earning, but your family doesn't stop spending. So, ang perfect example niya nung COVID.
Oh yeah.
Di ba? Nung tumigil lahat ng mundo, di ba? Paano na kung wala kang recurring income? Wala kang passive income.
True.
Ubus ka talaga.
Ubos.
Kaya nga maganda tong usapan na ito, stick with us, no? So, let's go back. So, yun yung vision mo, and then how did you make your vision to become a reality?
So going back, nag-iipon tayo nito, di ba? So we're working in sales, real estate, medyo maganda maganda yung profit for a young person, di ba?
So magkano yun? I want to know more about yung commission. Pagka nagbenta ka ng real estate, ilang percent ang commission at magkano pwedeng kitain?
Yeah, I think during that time, you probably get around 1 to 2%.
Nung umpisa ganun lang?
Oh, I mean, you work for a company, so parang medyo hindi ka talaga. So, you get 1 to 2%. So, for a 7 million property, you probably get around, 70 to 100-ish.
140,000.
Yeah.
Oh, pero yun nga, yung first encounter mo, nakatikim ka talaga ng syempre, oy, totoo na ba to? When was that? And anong property na benta mo? I'm sure it's memorable.
Yeah. Montgomery. Definitely. Montgomery. And siguro share ko sa inyo, no? Not to brag, guys. Ito, siyempre alam mo naman, laking hirap tayo. The first expensive thing na binili ko.
Ano?
Pasensya na, don't judge me as selfish, laptop. And dati ang laptop, mahal pa laptop. 100,000. Oo. Hindi lahat nakaka-afford ng laptop noon, brother. So, bakit laptop? Kasi sabi ko, hindi. Gusto kong maging mas efficient pa. So, laptop yung unang binili ko, di ba? The next one na binili ko, don't judge me, guys, Rolex.
Talaga? Bakit? Bakit?
I don't know. Maybe you're young guy, you need to prove something. So
Siguro pag nagsa-sales call ka, di ba? Pag
Maybe,
naka-Rolex ka, parang di ba?
Correct. But something that I wanted when I was younger. But now, hindi na masyado. I watch lang tayo. So, I remember I got a Rolex in Harrison Plaza. Wala na Harrison Plaza.
Oh, magkano mo nabili nun?
Siguro 140,000.
Wow.
Mura na ba yan?
Kailan yun?
2004?
Magkano na ngayon? Tumaas na
Hindi
yung
ko na
value
alam
nun.
kung magkano Rolex na yan but I heard.
I'm sure because the price appreciates also.
You should know.
Yeah.
Hindi ka ba?
Nag-appreciate na yun. Pero grabe, no? So, right now, kunyari right now, if you're going to sell property, ano naman standard ngayon? Ilang percent ang kikitain?
I think right now, still maybe for those working, maybe 1 to 2% for those working in a company. And for those on their own, can go 3%. Up to 5%.
Pag 5%, broker na yan.
Yeah.
So, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, just to give you a perspective, pag bumenta ka ng 1 million, di ba, kung ikaw ay ahente, meron kang 30,000. Kung 10 million, meron kang 300,000.
Yeah.
O kung may 20 million kang property, meron kang 600,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Oo.
But you have to pay your taxes, mga kakaipon natin.
Ay, syempre naman, iba naman yun. O ngayon, pero tayo makipag-chismis. Biggest amount of property you sold. Yun talagang, yung parang, na-shock ka?
Brother, never told this to anybody.
Okay.
So, nobody ever asked me that question or I never answered that question. But siguro for your Iponario followers, we were able to be blessed with a transaction one time that is close to 1 billion. 1 billion. So, but I'm sure I have friends who made bigger than that.
Alam mo bakit? Guys, ito lang totoo yan. May kakilala ako. Siya yung nagbenta ng 168.
Wow.
By how many Bs?
Yeah.
Bs yun.
Bs, yeah.
So, kumita siya ng mga broker siya eh. Kahit sabihin mo 3% na lang. For every 1B, that's 30 million ba?
Hindi ko na alam sa sobrang laki ng number.
That's 30 million. Kung 2B yun, di 60 million. Kaya guys, ito lang po sasabihin ko po sa inyo. Para sa mga taong nagsasabi na gusto nyo magnegosyo, pero walang kapital, ang isa sa pinakamagandang pasukan ay
Sales.
Oo.
Sales.
Alam mo, grabe. Ang puhunan mo dito, laway. Pag naubos puhunan, inom tubig. Bawi puhunan.
Brother,
Oh.
pero alam mo, I totally agree. And we tell our kids that. Even my wife sabi niya, you have to have a sales experience. But bakit sa kultura natin, parang minsan, di ba? Parang ikinahihiya ang sales. I don't know, Meron ba? Meron may ganun?
Well, kasi siyempre pag ikaw, 'di ba, nagbebenta ka, nakikiusap ka, nagse-set ka ng appointment, parang it's a form of begging in the thing. Yung parang at saka ang pinakamasakit hindi yung when you hear the word no.
No, sakit nun.
Oo, 'di ba? It's an emotional Ang daming tao na talagang ayaw sa sales. Pero ito yung na-realize ko. Pag wala kang puhunan, wala kang choice. At kung ikaw nakikinig ka at natatakot ka ngayon na magbenta, nakakahiya baka ma-offend ako, masaktan ako. Pero alam mo, dapat pumili ka ng hiya at saka ng takot. Anong mas nakakatakot? Yung mapuputulan ka na ng kuryente, tapos kailangan mo mangutang. Ano mas nakakatakot? Wala ka pang tuition fee ng anak mo at pipirma ka ng promissory minute. Ano mas nakakatakot kung may na-ospital kang mahal sa buhay at kailangan mo mangutang sa mga matapobre mong mga kamag-anak para magkaroon ka lang ng pera? Yun ang kinakatakutan.
That's true.
So for all of my life, I've been in sales since
I know.
age 12.
I know.
And in real estate, ito lang, again, hindi naman sa hindi naman kami nagpapaligsahan dito. Since yan yung background namin, I sold 35 units in 60 days. Property.
Nag-real estate ka rin pala.
Yes, 35 units.
Kailan to?
In the year 2000, in the year 99 or 2000.
Oh, OG So, mga nauna sa akin si brother.
Ay, kailan ka?
2002.
Ay, oo.
OG to, OG.
Hindi naman, pero that's my point. Ang point ko lang na, guys, because of the 35 units, I was able to purchase 2 units because of my income.
Yun.
That started. Pero yun nga, puhunan talaga. Guys, pag-aralan nyo talaga yung sales. Bakit? Ultimately, sino sa inyo may plano? Do you have plans to have your own business?
Yeah.
Imagine mo, nagkaroon ka negosyo, tapos wala kang benta. Weird no? Gusto nyo magnegosyo, pero ayaw magbenta. Na hindi mo alam, pag natuto ka magbenta, gagaling ka sa negosyo.
I agree. Marami rin tayong kaibigan na negosyante ngayon na nagsimula sa sales.
Lahat, karamihan. Alam mo si Andrew Tan?
Andrew Tan, Mega World.
Ahente lang yan dati.
Ahente. Wow.
Nag-aahente lang yun.
I think this is a good opportunity, brother, na i-share natin sa mga manonood na huwag niyong ikahihiya ang sales. Because there's an English phrase They say, you eat what you kill. Kung baga sa sales, ganun na Kung masipag ka, ayaw mo matulog, magtrabaho ka ng buong araw, it's all yours. Kasi nga, you eat what you kill.
Hindi, not only that, ito pang isa pang biggest revelation. Grabe tong session na ito. I have nothing against employment.
Yeah.
Employment is good, but we need cash. Kung gusto nyo talagang magkaroon ng tinatawag ng time and financial freedom, importante na maintindihan nyo You cannot exchange time for money. You work 8 hours, you get paid 8. You work 12, you get paid 12. You got to learn how to exchange results for money. In sales, we don't count time
We don't.
We count results. Yeah. Diba? So, can you still remember, in one single day, ilan na nabenta mong units? May naalala ka ng ganun?
You know, I don't usually talk about this one, but siguro I wanna share this to encourage yung mga nanonood and siguro to put all glory to God.
Yeah.
Talagang, I could say, wala talaga akong ginawa masyado. I just showed up.
Okay.
I just showed up. A very meaningful deal was, I remember there was a time na parang nahirapan ako. Up and down sales.
Oh,
diba?
yeah,
There was a time na walang benta, mahina ang alam ko malapit na yata akong matanggal noon or something, mawala ng sweldo. And I remember open houses. We would go to open houses, tapos tatayo ka sa gitna ng, wala pang internet noon.
Paliwanag mo ang ibig sabihin ng open house.
Dati kasi, mga kaipunaryo, wala pang mga internet, no? So you would put up a small tent sa labas ng property na binebenta mo. Then may hawak ka na flyer. So, mamibigay ka ng flyer and hopefully yung dadaan sa'yo, titigil at sabihin mo, sir, gusto niyo bang pumasok sa loob?
Tignan mo.
This is Ayala Hillside Estates. I don't know kung familiar ka. Very expensive property.
Sa may to?
Quezon City.
Sa Quezon City.
Ayala Heights.
Ayala Heights.
Very expensive property now, but at that time, very cheap. 20,000 per square. 20,000 per square. So, dahil nga desperate ako, I'll be the first to arrive in the tent. Bakit ka first to arrive? Kasi pag una ka, mas malaki yung chance mo na makaulit ka di ba? Kasi, take turns kayo. So, I remember, there was a Pajero na tumigil. Kinausap ko. Sabi ko, sir, ito, binibenta ganun. Then, umalis sila. After 1 hour, bumalik. Nagsimba lang pala. Nag-church.
Sunday.
So, hinanap ako.
Sunday.
So, tinur ko sila. And for some strange reason, they just bought at that time. So, sarap ng feeling, di ba? So, sarap ng feeling, you're already with a win. And in the afternoon, yung client mo from last week, nag-yes din. 2 binili. So, it was 3 in a day. So, that was really a fantastic, memorable experience.
Grabe, no? Isang araw, 3 benta. Yung 3 benta, magkano ang kita? Ang laki ng kita nun. Kaya nga, ang importante talaga, kung ikaw, naghahanap ka ng opportunity na ang pinapalit mo, hindi oras, kundi resulta. Alam mo, I can remember also isang story. Ito, true story to. Isa siyang houseboy, naging construction worker. Nakinig sa akin sa mga videos and else. Yun nga, this lesson, don't exchange time for money, exchange results for money. So, nag-try siya. Alam mo ano binenta niya? Encyclopedia. Nakabenta siya ng 2 set in 1 day. Kumita siya ng 7,000. Ayan na yung parang monthly salary niya before. Ever since that time, nag-change ang mind shift niya. To cut the long story short, right now, he's a very successful construction businessman in Davao. Alam mo yung asset niya noong 2023, nung nagkausap kami? 1 billion.
Dating houseboy.
Yun nga, naniwala siya sa konsepto. That's the reason why, guys. Ito lang we're not saying that you leave your job and then go into sales. Ang pwede nilang gawin, di ba? mag-work muna sila, di ba? From 9 to 5, pero after work, pwede sila pumasok ng sales.
There you go. There you go. Ako, brother, siguro masasabi ko lang is, sobrang daming opportunities out there para magbenta. It can be as simple as, ito kwento ko lang, yung sa gym namin, yung tigalinis, naglilinis. Diba? Siyempre, fixed salary siya.
Tama.
Pero pag break time, nagtitinda siya ng longganisa.
Wow!
Oh, di ba? So, imagine mo, bubuhatin yung longganisa, galing sa bahay niya, bibenta niya sa gym. Although, alam ko, bawal sa customers o sa mga trainers. Pero imagine mo na, makabenta siya makaprofit siya ng 100 pesos.
A day.
A day, or 200.
Oh.
Bawin yung pamasahin niya.
Exactly.
Versus somebody na you don't do that. Sayang din. So I think, brother, siguro, malaking bagay rin ma-accept natin na Chinese style, di ba? Konti kita pa rin.
Oo.
Di ba? We start kahit 50 pesos. I tell my kids, since they're kids pa, sige lang, any profit is still profit. 50 pesos, 100 pesos, ganun.
At saka, guys, I hope you understand, it's never about the profit eh. It's about learning how to increase your psychological wallet.
Wow. Game, what's a psychological wallet?
Kasi your income will only grow as your psychological wallet grows. Like for example, pag hindi mo pa, kunyari naalala mo yung pinakaunang sweldo mo magkano?
10,000? Sure.
At 10,000. So, nung kumikita ka ng 10,000 pesos, ang psychological wallet mo hanggang 10K lang. Siyempre, nangarap ka na I hope that I can make 25 a month. During that time, imposible yun. Pero, can you recall, when did you hit your first 25,000 na income?
Yeah.
Kailan?
Brother, I will shift that story. Habang nagkukwento ka, I have this story in mind eh. I remember when I was growing up, alam ko pag nakaipon ako ng 200,000 a year, medyo, ano na ako?
Okay ka na.
Medyo parang mayabang na ako. And I remember going to this bank in Makati. Sa may Ayala Avenue yan sa loob ng Enterprise Center. Punta ako doon, ang yabang ko, 200,000. Sabi ko, time deposit. Ang yabang. And then, biglang may escalator doon, paakyat.
Okay.
Sabi ko, miss, ano yung paakyat na yan? Sabi niya, ay sir, HSBC Premier.
Oo.
Sabi ko, anong amount ang kailangan to be HSBC Premier? Sabi nung banker sa atin, sabi niya, 2 million. At that time, having 200,000 save up, na hirap ka na, 2 million was like very far.
Exactly.
But sabi nga niya, di ba, if you plant it in your mind, pray about it, and after a few years, nakaakyat din tayo ng escalator.
Oo. Kailan mo kinita yung unang 25,000 mo?
Sa Ayala na siguro.
Sa Ayala at 25.
Yeah.
Ito na yung tanong ko. Nung tinamaan mo na yung 25,000 mo, anong sinabi mo during that time sa sarili mo? Ay, kaya ko pala.
Oh, yeah.
Di ba?
Exactly.
Di ba? Di ba kaya ko
Then you
pala?
set another target.
Bumaba ka ba o tumaas?
Tumaas.
So, next mo is 50.
Yeah.
Nung tinamaan mo yung 50, ano sinabi mo sa sarili mo? Di ba? Kaya ko pala.
Kaya ko pa.
So, ano nangyayari? Yung psychological wallet mo, nag-i-increase.
Yeah.
And then, the first 6-digit income, which is far impossible.
Yeah.
Nung tinamaan mo, kaya ko pala. Hindi ka na bumaba. That's the point, guys. I'm telling you.
And then, brother, planting seed lang, guys, sa manonood. Eventually, yung kinikita mo in a year, ginol mo ng a month.
Ay, oo. Totoo yun. Totoo yun. Yung parang, ang prayer ko during the time, that was my prayer. Nung nag-increase na ako, nag-6 digits na ako, nag-7 digits income na ako per month, ang prayer ko kay Lord, kung anong kinikita ko, give me the opportunity, in 1 year, to earn it in 1 month.
1 month.
And alam mo nangyari? Tinamaan ko.
Yeah.
Alam mo yung next prayer ko?
Pray per day?
Hindi, per week muna. Yung 1 year income ko per week.
Per week, yeah.
Tinamaan ko.
Ooh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
And I prayed, 1 year income, 1 day,
1 day.
tinamaan ko.
Ooh.
So,
psychology talaga.
Yeah, nagigets mo. So, your psychological wallet increases. Kaya nga, huwag niyong mamaliitin ang maliit. Kasi lahat ng mga lumalaki, nag-uumpisa sa maliit.
Agree. Brother, may share ako while you were talking, may idea ko. Ang siguro sa mga mentors natin, ang nagtatak sa akin na financial strategy is day by day ako eh. Day by day. Parang yung story nila Moses when they were in the desert, diba? In their wilderness, wherein they only have to worry about yung kakainin nila per day. That strategy really affected me.
Paano?
Parang in my life, I just look at it day by day. Kumbaga, today, how can I be productive today? Ano pwede ko gawin today that will drive me to my goal? Kung ganun lang, hindi ko iniisip na next week. Ang advantage naman, brother, is kunyari today, medyo tinamad tayo. Tao lang tayo. Kasi tinatamad din tayo. Next day, immediately recover. Bawi tayo the next day. So that's how I've lived in my life day by day.
Wow.
Wala nga akong Monday to Sunday. In fact, every day is a day to be productive.
Galing na.
Day by day lang.
Totoo
I guess makakatulong siya, brother, is mahirap kasi isipin na, ay, yung kinita ko, 200 lang yan, maliit. Or parang, 100,000, parang ang hirap, abutin. Pero if you break it down on a day-to-day, I think it's very doable.
So guys, ito lang ang pick up natin na yung day by day. Importante yon. We need to live one day at a time. Kasi the life lesson there is if you always live in the past,
Ayun.
yung past mistake, past hurts, past failures, which we all experience,
Failures, lalo na.
you become a prisoner of your past. But if you have the tendency to always look at the future naman, may tendency rin, magkakaroon ka ng fear of the future.
Yeah. You worry.
Fear of the unknown. Diba? Fear of failure, diba? Yun din yun eh.
Right.
So, ayaw mo naman mag-move forward. Kaya ang ganda ng philosophy mo na I will live one day at a time.
Definitely, brother. And my principle is, today is a gift. That's why it's called a
Present! Grabe,
Yeah,
oo.
I've been living that life for the past years na day by day lang. And sabi nga nila, brother, pag gising sa umaga, grateful lang.
Oo. Sabi nga ni OG Diaz every gising is a blessing. Oo. So, right now, ito na. Let's come to very significant part na. Yun nga, let's talk about property investment.
Yun, property.
So,
Malawak yan.
ito lang, bago tayong pag-usapan natin property investment. To cut the long story short, marami ka na bang mga nabentahan na talagang sobrang happy, sobrang saya? Tell us one story lang talaga.
One story on property. Maybe, hindi ko nabentahan to, but it's really very significant. 2 stories. Guys, I will share with you 2 stories na main lesson. No? Number 1, lumaki tayo sa La Loma, 97. Hindi sa farm, pero sa nagbebenta ng baboy, sa La Loma. Ang lola ko noon nakaipon ng 350,000.
Okay.
Bumili siya ng house and lot sa may La Loma, bahay lupa, for 350,000. 1976. Fast forward, doon kami tumira, doon kami na-create ng maraming memories until nagkaroon kami ng financial difficulty, nagkaroon ng utang, naundoy yung bahay, ganun-ganun. So, really ups and downs. But what I realized nung huli is nabenta pa naman yung bahay.
How much?
35 million pesos. Totoong pera yon. That's a meaningful amount of money.
Kailan nyo nabenta yun?
Siguro in that span from 1976 to around 2010-ish. So maybe,
yeah, that's 40 years.
yeah, 40 years.
But still, where can you find na yung 350,000 mo magiging 35 million in 40 years?
But brother, because I lived through that experience, hindi lang siya number to me.
Reality.
Meaning, tumira kami dun Ginamit namin, in-enjoy namin, dami kaming memories dun. And yet, yung pera na sa bangko na ubos. Pero yung ginamit namin, for a lack of a better word, inabuso namin na gamit, yan pa yung nagbigay ng 35.
Alam mo, weird to. Weird yung number ng 350.
Oh,
Alam bakit?
bakit?
Nakabili rin kami ng 350,000 yung parents ko during that time. That was their first purchase of property. 350,000 sa may Sampaloc.
Wow.
The first townhouse there sa may Governor Forbes. 350,000. 2 units ang binili nila. Nung nabenta nila yata na 3.5 each.
Oh.
Natirahan din, napaupahan din, nag-times 10.
I wanna simmer on that, na yung 350 to 35 is not just a number. Kasi yung time na financially hirap kayo, so wala na kayong makuhanan, biglang ma-realize mo, ito pala, at ang 35 million guys, pag nabenta nyo yan, sobra-sobra.
Oo.
Makakabayad ng utang, bayad ng hospital bills, bayad lahat. Talagang in one snap.
Nangyari ba yun? Kasi
Oh, yeah.
you need to pay hospital bills.
Oh
pa siya.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh.
So talagang in a snap of a finger, you're out of your debt, out of your worries financially.
Wow.
So that's the power. Kaya nga like yung sinasabi sa mga nakakausap ko is, one property lang. Kahit yung primary home mo lang ibilin mo. That's it. Okay ka na. Because that primary home over the years will really grow in value. Pangalawang story, brother. So people ask me, Carl, yan naman yung mga kwento ng mga may kaya. Paano naman yung walang kaya?
Tama.
Ito, meron akong kwento. Si Tatay Jose. I met him 70 plus years old na si Tatay Jose. Small property in Pasig. Malapit sa Tiendesitas, Bridgetown, that area. Meron siya isang dilapidated house. Lumang-luma na. Wala na siyang hanap buhay, wala siyang income. Ang pinaka-source of income na lang niya is yung may dalawang kwarto doon na may umuupa for 3,000 naman. Talagang lumang-luma na. 6,000. So he's living on that income. Kinausap niya ako. Sabi niya, Carl, wala na kaming pera, ganyan-ganyan. Sabi ko, Tatay, naalala ko yung lola ko itong property mo is worth something. So, why don't you sell it? So, eventually, nabenta na yung property for around 3-something million.
Wow.
3-something million. Not a big amount in today's world, but for a guy na walang pera,
Oo.
that's a big amount.
Oo.
So, nabenta naman yung property, tinuruan ko si Tatay Jose, 3.5 million. And tandang-tanda ko pa, hinawakan niya yung kamay ko, sabi niya, Carl, salamat. Hindi ko na akalain na for the past 10-20 years naghihirap ako. Kung kailan pa ako naging 70 plus, doon pa ako naging milyonaryo. These are what I see in my life na story. Sabi ko, tatay, magkano mo nabili to? Sabi niya, a few thousand pesos, 10, 20,000 pesos. Ang Pasig kasi dati parang outskirts naman, walang may gusto. So people say, Carl, is it about the return? Ilan percentage return yan? Ilan ang CAGR niyan? ROI? Sabi ko, irrelevant lahat yan.
Tama.
Because what I want to show is, yung taong walang pera, masisave kayo ng property na bahay nyo. All because binili niyan nung unang panahon. Kaya I tell my friends na as much as possible talaga, you buy your house. Kahit maliit, may lupa, you buy your house. Si Melvin.
So right now, Carl, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there right now who's watching us. Parang, okay, we're talking about ridiculous numbers, how property has changed the lives of people. Parang nagtatanong, where do we start? How do we start? Sige, give us your expert, yung basic lang. Kasi marami tayong mga OFW at saka mga, wala pa.
I think because of my experience na yung buong mundo ko is real estate, ano ma-advise ko sa mga nakita ko na ginawa nila? Lupa, hanggat kaya. Lupa talaga. Sabi nga nila, buy land and wait. Diba? Lupa plus the time.
How long?
How long? Brother, I always get that question. Carl, should I sell? The only time you will sell a property is kung may paggagamitan ka ng pera.
Kung wala, dyan lang.
Kung wala, hayaan mo lang yan. In 10 years time, tataas pa yan lalo. Huwag ka magmamadali. Tayo kasi minsan we're so eager to hold money. Ang problema kasi, brother, pag nakuha natin yung milyones natin, pesos natin, minsan,
Baka magastos.
Sigurado magagastos yan, di ba? Ang pera, madaling magastos. In fact, sabi nga ng boss ko dati, si Mr. Rex Mendoza.
Oh, si Rex.
The problem of property, ang pinaka-problema ng property is mahirap siya ibenta. Hindi siya liquid, hard to liquidate. But yung pinaka-downside ng property is actually one of his upsides. Kasi matagal mo siyang mabenta, minsan hindi mo siya maisip, binenta mo na lahat, yung pala, yung property mo over 40 years, na itago mo. So that's really how you make, really, sabi nga nila meaningful wealth through property. And ang dami kong story na ganun. Green Hills, 1 million na bili, 300 na ngayon. Pag kayo ba, bilhin ako ng 300 million ngayon, mauubos na ba yun?
Grabe.
Kaya talagang, siguro, ma-advise ko sa mga nanonood, really increase your income. Diba? Yung sinasabi nga nila, Carlo Ople, na, after pag-uwi mo sa gabi, hanap kayong side hustle, weekend side hustle. Kung kaya nyo, ma-take away muna yung gastos now, pulubi later.
Yeah, yung
iPhone now, pulubi later.
Gimmick now, pulubi later.
Gimmick now, pulubi later. Then, makaipon kayo ng substantial. Ngayon naman, marami naman mga installment So, ako, huwag kayong matakot sa installment. Mamaya pupuntahan natin. So, huwag kayong matakot sa installment, huwag kayong matakot sa interest. Kasi if played right, that can really help you. In fact, sabi nga nila, lahat naman na mayayaman, may utang, nag-leverage.
Okay, let's talk about, sige, let's pick it up from there. Okay. How would I know, kunyari ngayon, afford ko na bumili talaga ng willing ako to start. How would I know if I can afford from my income to buy property?
Okay, good. Sabi ko nga, ang lawak nitong topic natin. But just to set the pace, bali, meron akong 3 framework of buying property.
Okay.
CARL.
Carl! Apat yan, di 3.
The CA, capital appreciation. Yan yung pinag-usapan natin kanina.
Capital appreciation.
Tatay Jose, yung lola ko, capital appreciation. R is rentals. Pag-usapan natin mamaya.
Pwedeng upa-upahan.
Mamaya. And then L, leverage. Ito yung how do you use the bank? How do you use other people's
money? Sige. Interested ako.
Maabot pa ba tayo sa time
natin? Kaya yan.
Okay, so kanina pinag-usapan natin ang capital appreciation over time ng property. Kaya ang advice ko is bili kayo. Kahit na kung kailangan nyo umutang, pag-ibig, company loan, just go for it. But we will teach you kung paano. Kanina you were asking, brother, is about how would you know pag ready ka?
Yeah, ready na kasi. Baka mag-commit ako. Nagbayad lang ako ng mga 1 year, 2 years, tapos hindi ko kaya sustain, mariremata.
Ganda na sinabi mo, brother. So, with what you said, hindi issue yung pag-uutang. Mas issue yung pag hindi mo na prepare yung pambayad. So, paano mo malalaman? Some people, they have percentages. But another way to approach it is neto-neto.
Paano?
Chinese, neto-neto. Kung magkano yung kinikita mo, tanggalin mo lahat ng necessary expenses. Then you will see kung ano yung excess mo. That's why in my courses, I teach them, open kayo ng Excel. Kailangan may Excel kayo. Kita mo ano ba yung basic expenses nyo. I'm sure, tinuturo mo to, brother. Ano ba yung mga insurance na kailangan mo bayaran, tuition, ilabas mo lahat ng gastos.
Yung excess, yung savings niya, doon mo ma-determine kung kaya na niya o hindi.
Correct. Kasi minsan nakikita ko sa mga kaibigan nating ipunaryo, kulang sa projection.
Tama.
Diba? Kumbaga, ngayon kaya ko, pero next year pala hindi ko na kaya. So I think sitting down in your Excel, sa mga Gen Z, Google Sheets, ilagay nyo lahat ng potential gastos. Huwag kayo matakot ilabas lahat.
Speaking about that, if you're an OFW right now, titignan mo rin kung gaano ka pa rin katagal yung kontrata mo. Probably right now, yung contract mo na lang is up to 5 years. And yung commitment mo to pay for the property is 10 years. Kaya mo ngayon yan, nabili mo, pero on the 6th year na, since tapos na yung contract mo, wala ka ng cash flow. Doon na marami ng default. So that's number 1.
Yeah, alam mo, kwento ko lang, I'm sure makaka-relate kayo dito. Marami ako nakakausap na for advice sa akin, Carl, ito binibili kong property, okay ba? Sabi ko, okay, magkano down? Alam ko yan. Down ko is 1 million. Magkano monthly? Alam ko yan, 15,000. Sabi ko, how long? 4 years. Okay, alam mo. Pero after 4 years, may balloon na.
No, may balloon payment.
Magkano? Meron ba?
Patay
Hindi
tayo
nila alam na may balloon.
Or may mga hindi nga alam na may ita-transfer na sa bank. Tapos hindi kaya
Tapos
pala.
pag tinanong ko pa, pag yung lump sum na yan, pag inutang mo sa bangko, magkano monthly? Hindi rin nila. So, alam mo na it will fail. Kasi kulang yung question sa tinatanong. So, sometimes they will blame the agent, but sometimes hindi rin talaga na pag-uusapan. Totoo.
So, let's go.
Okay, saan na ba tayo?
Carl, di ba? Capital appreciation, R.
R is rental. Yun nga, kung ang property natin ay kaya mong i-generate ng income, kasi gusto mo, habang pinapataas mo siya ng value, kumukuha ka lang ng income. And brother, that's really where yung business model natin came, which is over the past few years, mostly lahat ng mga kinita natin, nailagay natin sa
Rentals.
Wow!
Yeah.
So,
Grabe, galing.
kaya medyo, yung sinasabi natin na financial freedom, medyo totoo siya. Yung wherein, yung daily gastos mo, monthly gastos mo, kaya na i-cover ng passive income. So, rentals is very, very important for property kasi saka makakita na, sabi nga, as long as nagbabayad, wala ka na kailangan gawin. Diba? So, it can be in various forms, no? Apartment, condo units, hotel rooms, bodega,
Warehouse.
warehouse, commercial property.
So, let's talk about, yung rule, no? Siguro percentage.
Okay.
How would I know if this really is a good... Kasi ako may sarili akong rule, I will never invest in a property kung wala akong lease income na ganitong percentage. Ikaw, anong rule mo?
Yeah. Alam mo, that's a very good question. No? And I get that, na sometimes we're very conscious with the return. But I learned this from my mentors na talagang they're very wealthy. Sometimes, the return is 1 or 2%
Per year?
per year. Maliit.
Liit.
Pero dahil alam nila na itong lupa is valuable.
Kasi nag-appreciate yung price ng capital
Oo. Capital
appreciation. Wala siyang pakialam sa rental.
Exactly. So what am I saying na okay lang. Kung meron kayo nakita property na, uy, ang ganda nitong property, pero ang return niya. Kunwari, kausap ako the other day, Carl, bibiling ko tong property, commercial. Pero yung uupa sa akin ngayon, ang return ko 3 to 4% lang. Parang ayoko. Sabi ko, hindi, go for it. Kasi 3 to 4% lang yan ngayon. Pero after 10 years, yung lupa na yan, na pwede mo tayuan ng building, will give you more. Ang importante, na secure mo na yung lupa. So, many ways to
Skin the cat.
skin the cat. Sabi nga ni
Ayun.
Ninong Rai, many ways to cook the pig. Or cook the meat. Cook the fish.
Galing. So ngayon kasi ako may rule ako na actually I always implement the rule of 10.
Pwede.
Now hearing that,
It's a different
it's a different perspective. So, capital appreciation, rental. Right now, let's go to letter L. Ano yung letter L?
C-A-R-L,
Oo.
Letter L is leverage.
Okay.
Ang in Tagalog, ano bang leverage sa Tagalog?
Yung parang ano yung leverage sa Tagalog? Hindi, pakitype na lang sa comment section ano ibig sabihin ng leverage sa wikang Filipino.
Yun.
Oo.
But, brother, I wanna simmer on this leverage kasi ang mga mayayaman, ang mga bilyonaryo, they know this. What is leverage? Ginagamit mo yung resources ng ibang tao para, mapabilis ang iyong gain.
Paano?
Sample, pag hinire ni Henry C. ang isang magaling na engineer para i-manage ang SM, nile-leverage yung skill mo. Kinukuha ka niya para i-manage mo yung business niya, yung building niya. Pag yung isang Taipan gusto magbukas ng bangko, wala siyang alam, mag-hire siya ng dati nag-work sa ibang bangko para le-leverage niya yung experience niya, tsaka talent, tsaka network. In fact, some people, they will hire a person kahit na wala siyang experience pero meron siyang madadala na employee kasama. Maraming ways of leverage.
Wow.
So, eye-opener, no? Leverage can be your time, di ba? Kung ako ay may food cart, kunwari, at mag-open ako ng 20, hindi ko na makaya bantay ng 20, mag-hire ako to operate my food cart. So, dati, isa lang ang ini-income ko. Ngayon, dahil nag-hire ako ng tao, 20 na yung income ko in a 24-hour day. That's the power of leverage. That's why leverage is what separates the entrepreneurs and the employee. Kasi ang employee, kahit paano mo balibaliktaran, di ka pwedeng rumakit habang rumarakit ka sa office mo. Di ba? Masama, pangit yun. So, one angle ka lang. So, leverage can also be money. That's why yung mga big corporations, may utang sila, may bonds, may funds, kasi they get the people's money, they promise the people 5%, but they can earn 10% out of doing that. So, doon tayo papasok na how do we use leverage for property? Ito na yung gagamitin natin yung bangko. Brother, okay lang ba? I'll just share a story.
Go.
Mas maganda yung kwento. I have this friend, no? 25 years old siya. Lumapit siya sa akin mga 10 plus years ago. Sabi niya, Carl, meron akong 700,000 pesos. Anong gagawin ko dito? Saan ko i-invest? Siyempre, lumapit ka sa akin. Ano sabihin ko? Property. Pero ang property 10 years ago, isang condo, 2.5 million. So, short. Magkano siya short?
Mga 1.8.
1.8. Bilis talaga ni brother. So, what do you do pag short ka ng 1.8?
Borrow.
Normally, your parents would say, edi wag ka bumili, wala kang pera, wag kang mangarap, di ba? So, nangyari dito, nag-borrow siya 1.8 million sa bank. So, yung 1.8 million na yan, over 10 years is around 20,000 a month. So, binigay niya 700,000 niya sa down payment, wala na siyang pera. So, kinausap niya si Sir Carl, nawala siya ng 700,000. Ano nangyari pa? Nabaon pa siya ng utang na 1.8.
Tama.
At may utang siya na 20,000 for 10 years.
Tama.
So, how would you feel pag ikaw yung
Siyempre, parang cash poor na ako, hindi na ako cash rich.
cash poor? So, dapat di ka na naghingi ng advice kay Sir Carl. But something good happened.
What?
20,000 to the bank, di ba? Every month. Kaya, ano ba to? Pambihira itong pinasok ko. But bigla nagkaroon siya ng renter.
Magkano?
20,000.
So, wala siya binabayaran.
There you go. Ito, very good point. So, 20,000 ng utang na sa bangko, 20,000 na kinukuha niyang rent. Bayad. Every month, bayad. What do you think, guys? Is that a good deal? Some would say hindi siya good deal kasi walang profit. Break even.
Pero yung CA mo,
Okay lang. Pero in the short term, without taking of capital appreciation, saka makakita ng setup na ibang tao ang
Nagbabayad
nagbabayad ng utang mo.
Tama.
Hindi mo siya close, hindi kayo BFF. Pero binabayaran niya for you. For the next few years, if everything is falling into place, tuloy-tuloy lang siya. Minsan, magpapalit ka ng tenant, pero tuloy-tuloy yung 20,000. And after 10 years, wala kang ni-pocket na pera. Pero what happened? Fully paid ka na sa property.
tama.
So that is a leverage model. So ginamit niya yung 700,000 pesos na ginamit niya yung bangko para makakuha siya ng 1.8. After 10 years, 35 na siya. Sa kanya na yung property.
Hindi na ano yun, hindi na siya 2 plus million yung property.
So wala pang capital appreciation pero assuming na 2.5 pa rin siya, di ba? Pero hindi ikaw nagbayad. So habang nagtatrabaho ka sa office, may tumutulong ka. Here's the exciting part, brother.
Ano?
What if you keep on multiplying it? Pinaran mo na tong system na to. Comfortable ka na. Meron ka na naman 700,000.
Bili ka ulit.
Bili ka isa. Okay, easy lang. Comfortable ka na. Kabisado mo na. Tumataas ang sweldo mo. Isa pa. And if everything falls into place, if you do this model in the next 20 years of your life, long-term tayo, property, 20 years of your life, pinapaandar mo. Conservative lang. Maybe one property every 2 years, every 3 years, yung iba, ganun, 1 year. After 20 years, it will all be fully paid. So, kunwari, 20,000 naman. Kunwari lang, 20,000 naman. Over 20 years, nakabuild ka ng 20 niyan. Magkano na amount yan?
200,000.
20 eh. So, 400,000.
Ay, 400,000.
There you go, brother.
Aman.
That's how you develop passive income. But, what I want to point out, mga kaipunaryo, for the next 20 years na nagkatrabaho ka, pwedeng wala kang kinikita.
Ang tawag po namin yan, cash poor ka.
Cash poor.
During the time, always remember this, you will feel, parang papagod lang ako dito. Wala akong kakash-cash, hindi ako maka-enjoy. Pero once yun nga, you start tripping, you become cash rich.
Exactly.
Stable ka na. Even if you stop working, your sources of income will never stop. And then just like what happened nga, worst comes to worst, kung kailangan mo magbenta ng isang property,
There you go, benta mo.
oo, di ba?
So, that is a very powerful model, guys, na ang gusto ko ituro sa inyo is the mindset na 20 years kang nagtatrabaho, wala kang kinikita. Fair ba yun? But if you know the strategy of property, that is fair. And some people will come to me, Carl, ang tagal naman yung reward. Kung 25 ako ngayon, 45 ko pa may enjoy. Diba? But I tell you, brother, 45 is not old.
Tama.
Once you get 45 and meron ka ng magic
Oo,
400,000, tuloy-tuloy pa yan.
Grabe, grabe. Remember Carl, ha? C-A-R-L. Capital appreciation, rental, and syempre, leverage. So, Carl, just like before we close, no, I just like to ask, syempre, we all made some money mistake. What is the biggest money mistake you made and how much did it cost you?
Wow. I'm generally conservative. No? Generally conservative tayo and nakasanayan natin yung turtle and the rabbit. Yun,
Yeah.
di ba? So, umaga, lumaki tayo sa mundo wherein turtle. We know na it's okay to be a turtle. Slowly but surely wins the race. Siguro, I would say I lost some money in cryptocurrency. Yeah. But not because of cryptocurrency, I would say. But because, nag-usap lang kami ni Marvin Guillermo, it's because yung mindset ko pang property. Iba yung mindset of that kind of field. So siguro, masasabi ko is, try to stick to what you know. And if you don't know about things, just be conservative.
How much did you lose?
Wow. Biggest money mistake is entering something I'm not familiar with. How much did I lose? 7 digits. 7 digits.
Millions yun.
Millions.
Grabe. So, if there is a guide that can help you to avoid those mistakes, sa palagay mo, makakatulong ba?
Definitely. And I think it's not a money issue. It's a character, mental issue.
Yeah. At saka hindi lang character mental, kahit na gusto mo, pero pag di mo alam, di ba? Alam mo muna, bago yung character. Kasi, di ba? Pag hindi mo alam, syempre ignorant ka. Tapos pag alam mo na, may character issue na yun pag tinuloy mo pa. So, I would like to share with you itong
Yes.
10 utos para pera ID.
Maubos.
Oh, ito yung pinaka-latest book. Meron dito, nakasulat dito, ito.
May 10 utos sa pagsisimula ng investment checklist.
Ano yung number 1?
Never invest in something you do not understand. I agree.
You violated that
I
rule.
violated rule number 1.
So, you lost millions. Di ba? Sa book na yan, di ba? Marami yan eh. That's
Marami.
10 eh. That's 10.
Yeah. Can I read more?
Oo.
Never put your eggs in one basket. So, diversify. Tama yon. Never invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Agree din ako dyan. Never invest without a goal in mind. Ano bang gusto mo mangyari dito sa ini-invest mo? Parang na-enjoy ko na yung nagbabasa, you know? Parang lahat may impact eh. Never invest without knowing your risk tolerance. Ano ba to, brother? Never invest without knowing your risk
Kasi
tolerance.
there are 3 types of investor eh. Conservative, moderate, and aggressive.
Okay.
Anong klaseng investor ka? Di ba? I think you are a more conservative type, right?
Conservative, yeah.
So kung conservative ka, at the first place, why did you go to crypto?
Yeah.
Kasi that's aggressive.
Yeah.
So it goes against your values and your belief.
Exactly.
And if ever you want to go into crypto, wala namang masama. You only invest, babalik naman tayo to the amount of money.
They're willing to lose.
Yes.
I get it.
So yun yung guide.
I think, brother, marami nakaka-relate dito. Sometimes kasi you feel na ito na yung one-time, big-time.
Oo. Ito na yung parang hinihintay ko.
All in.
Oo. Patay ka. So, guys, yun nga. How much do you think this book, pag natutunan nila, value to a person?
I think that's a very good question. How much is this book? Kumbaga, I don't know the right word, pero yung masasave na sa'yo in the losing eh.
Grabe,
Baka
no?
pati marriage mo masave eh, dahil dito eh.
Oo nga eh. Millions eh, di ba? In your case, it's millions.
Yeah. I think, brother, hindi kasi tayo lumaki sa culture wherein we have money lessons eh, di ba? In fact, kwento ko lang may kwento lang ako. May time pa ba tayo?
Oh.
I remember this story na may lumapit sa akin. Sabi niya, Sir Carl, hindi kami in good terms ng asawa ko. Babae to, hindi kami in good terms ng asawa ko kasi I made an investment and I lost money. And for the past 3 years, I've been depressed, I've been blamed, ang pangit na relationship namin na-affect na sa anak. Everything because of a bad investment. But what I see here is our culture is also not able to forgive a mistake. In fact, to the point na
Cancel culture.
ano nga, cancel culture ba?
Yeah.
Kumbaga sabi ko nga doon sa girl, sabi ko, alam mo, kailan ba nangyari to? Sir, mga 3-4 years ago. Magkano yung pera na wala sa'yo? 400,000. But sabi ko nga, sana makausap ko yung asawa mo na kalimutan na yan at mag-move on na kayo together. Kasi lahat naman tayo at some point nagkakamali.
Lahat.
I'm sure ikaw din.
Lahat.
I'm sure
Kaya ako nga sinulat yan eh.
you have your ups and downs.
Kaya akong sinulat yan. Because I don't want people to experience the pain that I went through.
So, ba't ko nasabi yun? Because it's all about starting with the right mindset din eh. Paano tayo kung nagkamali? How do we recover? Kasi I think, importante na ma-learn natin eh, na huwag tayo magkakamali as much as possible. But pag nagkamali tayo, we recover. Bawi tayo. Kasi pag di ka naka-recover, mas hindi mo mababawi.
So Carl, for people who are out there right now, I want you to talk to them. They're lost, they're confused, they're afraid to start investing in property. Siguro, parting words na lang to them.
Okay, property, alam mo, may nagsabi sa akin na mas marami pang regular titos and tita na hindi masyado financially savvy na yumaman sa property than somebody na nasa Wall Street na sobrang galing but they lose their money. So, property in my experience is super old school. It's classic, it's just there. Siguro kung meron lang tayo is, ang characteristics ng property, mga kaipunaryo, is long-term. Have a long-term mindset pagdating sa property.
Grabe. Alam niyo, ito lang, dadagdagan ko, hindi ko mapigilan sarili ko. Ganito na kasimple. Name me one billionaire na wala sa property business.
Lahat, no? In fact, marami nga tayong kaibigan, may negosyo, naging successful, property.
Oo, lahat sila.
Building, paupahan.
Tapos, it ends up, mas malaki pa kinita ng property kasi sa business nila. Yung negosyo nila, cash cow lang to buy the property. Pero ending, yung nagpayaman talaga sa kanila, yung property.
Exactly.
Grabe talaga. Kaya nga mga friendship, BFF natin, O, pag-ibig, shout out sa pag-ibig. Oo, pwede nyo na gamitin ang mga pag-ibig loans nyo for the right reason, and that is to buy a property. Carl, ito lang guys, ito lang. I trust Carl. If you need mga professional advice, if they want coaching from you, advice from you, how do they get in touch?
So brother, thank you for asking. No? Dahil nga maraming lumalapit sa akin, I open a private coaching session. Kasi yung iba talaga, nabibless sila with my experience na advice. So just look for me in Facebook, Carl D-Property Guru. And meron akong coaching na private. May konting bayad siya, but pambayad lang ng bills. But kung naguguluhan ka on what to do, you wanna buy a property, hindi mo ma-understand kung good deal ba o bad deal, gusto mo umutang pero hindi mo sure kung kakayanin mo, get the private coaching. Yeah. So, Carl D-Property Guru in Facebook.
Guys, ito lang sabihin ko sa inyo. It took you years for you to earn the money. It took you a lot of years to save your hard-earned money. But it only takes you one bad decision to lose all of your hard-earned money. And then when sa property, isa sa pinakamalaking expenses na gagawin mo, isang pinakamalaki desisyon. It's either your property will become a blessing to your life or it can become a curse in your life. Sana naman you make the right choice. Kaya nga, don't hesitate to invest. Bago ka mag-invest, magtanong ka muna. So, please get in touch with Carl. Thank you very much guys for tuning in again in this episode of ours. Sobra akong na-enlighten, ang dami ko natutunan. Pakitype na lang sa comment section kung ano natutunan nyo. Guys, ito pa lang. If you want to learn about real estate, okay, real estate, paano ba mag-invest sa real estate, paano ba mag-flip ng real estate, meron na kaming isang real estate na program that can teach you. So if you are interested, it's by demand anytime, kahit na OFW ka, you can watch that, okay? You can watch that. So if you're interested, just type real estate in the comment section or check the link below. As I always say in my program, tamang karunungan, tamang disiplina po ang susi sa pagyaman.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on Chink Positive are their own and do not necessarily represent those of the producers, hosts, or network. Chink Positive is for entertainment and informational purposes only. While guests may share insights on financial and business topics, this does not imply endorsement of any products or services. Viewers should perform with their own research.